Welcome to Deluxe. We travel the world in pursuit of exquisite experiences. From the luxury of grand ship cruises and five-star hotels with heart-stopping views to exclusive experiences, we take you on a journey to rival all. In our bustling modern world, nothing speaks luxury and indulgence more than travelling the seas on a beautiful cruise ship. The Passenger Shipping Association in the UK recently celebrated its golden anniversary.
Very good opportunity to take stock because 50 years ago most people had to travel by sea on the ocean liners or by ferry to get anywhere. And now, of course, cruising is having a complete renaissance. The business is growing, the ferry industry is improving as well. More and more people are actually taking cruises every year. Last year, 1.3 million Brits took a cruise. This year, 1.5 million Brits are going to take a cruise.
50 years ago, when the association began, sea travel was a necessity. Now it is a luxury choice, and increasingly a family and a young person's holiday, and not just for the retired. The organisation gathered in the National Maritime Museum to celebrate their success and to peruse new bold designs for the future. Cruise ships that will meet the changing needs of passengers.
We've been trying to imagine is a ship that would attract the people who would go and stay in a design hotel. And I think there's a market segment there that the cruise industry hasn't quite catered for yet. So that's one of the ideas.
One of the more innovative ideas presented was for a cruise ship which allows the launch of a fleet of smaller vessels, meaning passengers can have individual holiday experiences on and off the mothership. The magnificent RMS Queen Elizabeth II, or QE2 as she is known, recently made her last grand entrance, this time into Dubai, where she will begin her second life as a luxury floating hotel. Britain's most famous cruise ship was the flagship of the Cunard Line from 1969 until 2004. She was considered to be the last of the great transatlantic ocean liners, until increasing passenger numbers saw her sister RMS Queen Mary II launched in 2004. During her life as a luxury liner, she covered over 6 million miles, carrying the moneyed and privileged across the oceans of the world with style and elegance. It is estimated she has carried 2.5 million passengers. More than 60 naval vessels, led by a splendid mega yacht owned by Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Dubai's ruler, welcomed the 70,000-ton ship into port, where she will add still more splendour to the exclusive accommodation already available in Dubai City. In the country that offers extremes of wealth and luxury, tourists can now catch a bus that combines old-world luxury with modern comfort. The Royal Time Machine promises a sightseeing ride with royal treatment.
And I feel that here is something which we can combine and offer them in such a way that they will find it a very extraordinary experience and a very exclusive experience, because they get to enjoy our cultural heritage in a very rich and beautiful way. Basically, it's about recreating the glorious past and helping them experience royalty come alive.
The interiors of the two buses are elegant and sophisticated, with modern audio-visual technology, comfortable reclining seats, a kitchenette and onboard toilets. The bus only seats 19 passengers and promises old-fashioned Indian service and charm as passengers are ferried through the beguiling Indian capital at night. The most exclusive experience is ironically not the most luxurious. This holiday does not involve gourmet treats or top-shelf alcohol, but rather instant food in plastic bags. And before the ship can even be boarded, a strenuous training schedule must be undertaken. In 2006, Anusha Ansari became the first self-funded female space tourist when she blasted off from the Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan for the International Space Station. Anusha, an Iranian-American, made her millions through telecom stocks. At only 40 years of age, she joined a tiny list of people who could afford the price tag of what is reported to be between 20 to 28 million US dollars for her 10-day stay in orbit. That makes the view out her space station window far and away the most expensive view in the world. At her news conference, Anusha shows she is preparing herself for what will be too short-lived.
Basically, at the end of it, they all say, just make sure that you enjoy every moment of it and take in every breath and just remember the experience and try to cherish every moment of the experience. So I think a lot of the experience depends on the individual and will differ. I'm looking forward to capturing my feelings and my experience while I'm flying and when I get to the space station, and then I will share it with everyone upon my return.
US entrepreneur Dennis Tito pioneered space tourism in 2001, and 2 more men have been launched into the skies since Anusha, bringing the number of tourists to take the most high-status holiday of all to 6. Some couples spend years planning a wedding, but for others, spontaneity and mystery is what they really want. 17 American couples found an exclusive wedding day experience to remember when they joined a flight to an unknown location. The special day began in a blue lagoon in Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland, and at this stage, none of the couples knew where they would be getting married. Frederick and Eleanor Minoski chose this luxury package to renew their vows.
We're having a great time so far, just a wonderful time. And I'm just looking forward to finding out where we're going. This is exciting. It's a mystery so far.
The mystery location turned out to be the beautiful Danish capital, Copenhagen, and the couples boarded a small plane to cross the sea to Denmark. High in the air over the ocean, a marriage clerk united, and for others reunited, the happy couples.
We are gathered together high in the heavenly clouds, 40,000 feet above the North Atlantic, on this Iceland Air Honeymoon Express to renew our vows and commit our love to each other.
Once in Copenhagen, the couples were due to spend 2 nights in the coastal city before boarding a cruise ship bound for Oslo, Norway. Coming up, high-rise for the ultra-rich and hotel rooms for those seeking something unique. Christmas in Japan is always unforgettable because the Japanese make this festival more about love than religion or family get-togethers, and it's no expense spared. In Tokyo, young lovers gathered on the exclusive shopping strip in Roppongi Hills to watch model Azumi Mori playing the Queen of Snow officially open the Christmas light show. The Tokyo Tower is a famous place for meeting dates or proposing marriage, and every day throughout December, the tower will cut its lights and then switch on its special heart-shaped Christmas light. Locals believe that couples who stand under the tower when the lights come back on must swear eternal love to each other. On the Tokyo Tower observation deck, couples were invited to tie a ribbon on a special Christmas love tree. When I tied this ribbon, I made a wish that our love would last forever. One international way of celebrating love is to hire an exclusive hotel suite. And in Japan, Christmas Eve is one of the most popular nights for this. Men typically spend a small fortune buying their date dinner and booking a 4- or 5-star hotel for the night. The newly built Tokyo Prince Hotel Park Tower is offering a special deal for the man with money in his pocket. For 2 million yen or $16,500 US, he can bring his love to a special Christmas decorated suite with gourmet dinner included. The main attraction of the room is the romantic view overlooking Tokyo from the 32nd floor. We made this special plan for couples who want to spend a special and memorable Christmas. The steep price tag has not dissuaded some rich lovers. Both Christmas suites were booked out 1 month in advance. A New York hotel offers stiff competition for this price tag, with one of the most expensive suites in the city at over $12,000 per day. The stunning 5-star Mandarin Oriental New York Hotel opened in 2003 and has already found a firm place in the heart of moneyed travellers the world over. The most exclusive suite is the Presidential Suite. At the feng shui-inspired opening of the hotel, the general manager explained whom they expect as guests in the suite.
The target market or the target person, leaders in business, leaders in government, entertainers, it is not that you just go out and expect 100% occupancy in a suite like that from day one. It is you let it sit, and then people who are used and accustomed to the type of service, they'll come to you as well. And they'll approach you and they ask you, do you have a suite like that? That's why it's usually called the Presidential Suite, because after the Presidential Suite there is nothing left, so that's it.
At the opening, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg cut the ribbon and commented that he considered the hotel a good sign for the city because previously his friends had not been able to find hotel rooms in New York. If his friends are willing to pay, the Presidential Suite offers plenty of delights, including panoramic views of Central Park and the Hudson, a baby grand piano, and Asian-themed artwork worth almost $1 million. Included in the luxury room are all the ingredients to entertain with panache, with a kitchen, formal dining room, a wet bar, state-of-the-art audio-visual system, and finally, a deep soaking tub overlooking the park. Said to be the premier English luxury hotel, the iconic Savoy in the heart of London's West End is offering an exclusive accommodation experience aimed at those who feel the creative urge. Long a renowned hangout for artistes, the Savoy has named a suite in honour of one of its more famous residents.
We've had lots of artists staying at the Savoy since it opened. It opened way back in 1889, so it's been around a long time. And artists have always been attracted to the building. In fact, Whistler painted the scaffolding before the hotel even opened. And of course, his visit was closely followed by Claude Monet, who stayed here several times over the turn of the century. Kokoschka stayed here, Andy Warhol stayed here. So we've got quite a history of artists living with us.
Claude Monet stayed in this very room, where he painted his views of London and the River Thames. Now those who wish to follow in the famous Impressionist's footsteps have the opportunity to stay in the same luxury that Monet experienced and paint the view from the very same window. The Monet experience offers 4 hours of painting tuition to brush up on technique alongside the exclusive Savoy experience of champagne, gourmet dinner and cocktails. Guests can also peruse the work from the prestigious Savoy Art Collection, which includes work by English painter Peter Brown. Peter was one of the Savoy's artists in residence and painted the view through the Monet window. His modern London is quite different to that experienced by Claude Monet. Combining the elegance of the old with the luxury of the new is part of the special atmosphere at the Savoy. When the first 5-star hotel opened in Kabul, Afghanistan recently, there was much celebration among those who love the experience of travelling in the exotic Middle East. Now they were going to be able to stay in true style. Prince Karim Aga Khan funded the $35 million Kabul Serena Hotel, and it was opened with much pomp and ceremony. At the opening, the Afghanistan president promised to make the surrounding city as beautiful as the hotel.
This great project, and the Afghan people value it. I told my colleagues in the government that now it's the job of Afghans to work with you, with the management of the Kabul Hotel, to beautify the surroundings of the hotel, to reduce the traffic, to make it pedestrian, to have flowers, and to turn it into a nice little garden. In other words, let's begin developing Kabul, keeping Serena Hotel as the center of it.
The three-storey hotel was built close to the presidential palace in the heart of the city centre, and a room will set travellers back anything between $250 and $1,200 a night. The luxurious and tranquil interior shows many influences of the unique architecture of the Middle East. Guests can relax and keep fit in a swimming pool and a health club, or dine at a pastry shop and 2 restaurants. The peace and quiet stands in stark contrast to the busy, bustling streets of a city still recovering from war. The hotel itself was built on the site of a previous famous Kabul hotel, where many Afghans chose to have their wedding parties and other celebrations. The new hotel is aiming for an exclusive client list, which includes visiting and local dignitaries and diplomats. The London public were recently offered a unique opportunity to experience the luxury hotel of the future, a hotel which will draw upon the client's natural senses to produce a hotel stay unlike any other. International designer Yasmin Mahmoudeh had created a 5-star hotel room with moods and sensory experiences which tap into what she sees as basic human needs. To prepare the public to view her exclusive room, they must first reignite their sensory perceptions. After these preliminary rooms, Yasmin introduces her unique hotel space.
It doesn't have to be like their home. It should be an experience that they will remember, and especially when you travel a lot around the world. I think it's very important that you are aware of the country you are in, but you get inspiration from a place. You feel very comfortable, and as in this exhibition, 5+ Sense Hotel, all your senses are tuned in. And I think it's very important to be very creative, but also to look at human needs and the condition of human beings, understanding, psychology.
A touch panel in the room means that the customer can personalise the room, shaping the experience of it to how they are feeling themselves. There is morning, day and evening lighting, with or without music. The carpet itself is exclusive, more three-dimensional than regular, which makes the experience of walking on it extra pleasurable. In the bathroom, the themed mood lighting continues, along with subtle perfume. The curtains have Swarovski crystals laser cut into the fabrics for a beguiling sense of subtle luxury. Coming up, more sensory experiences, and the tables are turned on the food critics. For those with a love of fine things, the recent public opening of renowned architect Philip Johnson's home in Connecticut was an experience not to be missed. Phillips' glass house, built in 1949, has become one of the most famous post-war American buildings and an example of modernist architecture in its most brilliant form. Previously, the only way to see the exclusive house was by personal invitation from the famous architect himself. Philip himself compared his house to a luxury camping trip.
The whole thing about a glass house is that it's like a great camping trip. You're here, but you don't have to carry your camping equipment with you, and you can relax in your birthday suit and enjoy outside.
Philip died in 2005 at the age of 98, and his partner not long after, which meant the house could finally be open to his fans.
During the inaugural year of the public opening of the Philip Johnson Glass House, we're welcoming guests who have been waiting their entire careers for access to this great property that was very protected as a private home, where the only access was by invitation from Philip Johnson, to now a public destination. So we're a pilgrimage site. People are coming, they're quiet, they're tearing up. It's very moving, personally moving.
Included on the private 47-hectare site are other Philip Johnson constructions, including a guest room that is completely enclosed in brick, and the painting gallery, where exclusive works by Frank Stella, Andy Warhol, and other famous artists are to be found. Music lovers seeking an unusual sensory experience were recently to be found at a Tokyo Summer Music Festival, where two futuristic artists an Icelandic musician and a Japanese fog artist staged a rare collaboration. Hundreds of music fans lined up outside the National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation in order to see Johan Johansson work with Japanese fog artist Fujiko Nakaya. Johan is famous in Europe for his ambient, cool mix of acoustic instruments, post-industrial sounds, and electronic music samples. Fujiko is a renowned fog sculptor who uses special technology to create artificial fog. Their unusual collaboration produced an exclusive and memorable event. Your senses are numbed by the fog and music, and you have a feeling of being in a place that is nowhere. You don't feel like you're in a concert hall, but in space. It was great. Johan noted as he signed CDs for all his fans that although fog and music may seem obscure partners, they are both natural occurring events produced unnaturally, and fog and music are both ephemeral arts. Sometimes what seems like hard work can prove to be the most exclusive experience. Everyone is an expert on fine food, but very few people have the experience of working alongside a Michelin-starred chef in his own kitchen. In an unusual move, English food critics came out from behind their pens and paper and joined a busy kitchen, cooking up a storm, all in the name of those less fortunate than themselves. Michelin-starred chef Giorgio Locatelli invited the critics to join him in his restaurant kitchen as they prepared a gourmet feast to raise money for the charity Action Against Hunger. Giorgio's Italian restaurant, Locanda Locatelli, is one of the finest eating establishments in London.
Working in this business then is so rich, and we working with the top richest people in England when we feed these people every day in, day out. So there is a little bit of almost feeling responsible for the people that don't have so much. I think that just one day a year to help somebody like that, I think is very, very important.
This is the third time the exclusive event has run, and 100 diners attended, many of them Michelin-starred chefs themselves. Each of the guests paid over £100 for their beautiful Italian feast, prepared by what some may see as their traditional enemies. Another perk for the guests were the television monitors set up around the restaurant, with cameras in the kitchen. This meant the chefs relaxing in the dining room could watch the critics sweating it out in the kitchen, a true reversal of fortune. This swapping of roles meant critics got a chance to hone their cordon bleu cooking skills and take home some new recipes to their lucky friends and families.
This is a terrific recipe to make at home because you can do it ahead. You just poach some skate, toss those little fingers of skate flesh with anchovies, with capers, with some oven roasted cherry tomatoes, with a bit of rocket, some lemon rind from a lemon and lots of beautiful olive oil, and put it on some garlicky grilled bread. Perfect.
With these exclusive experiences, leaving home has never been so easy.